even happier if he can stay healthy in 2020. So let's just stop for a moment about that. Let's take a look at some of the box scores, some of the games from yesterday in both, excuse me, the Grapefruit and Cactus Leagues. The Yankees and Braves, talk about a pitcher's duel. Atlanta got 2 hits, and Yankees had 6. Pitching for New York yesterday, Masahiro Tanaka goes 3 2/3, gives up 1 single, no walks, and strikes out 4. The bullpen looked really mid-season form. Ottavino threw an inning, struck out 1, no hits, no walks. Britton threw an inning, no hits, no walks, struck out 2. Canely threw an inning, no hits, no walks, struck out 2. Green goes an inning, gives up 1 hit, 1 strikeout. So it was a great bullpen day for the Yankees. They had a split squad. They played the Orioles. That game ended in a 5-5 tie. And, well, Clark Schmidt started, and Clark Schmidt's been pitching really well. He pitched 2 innings yesterday, gave up 1 earned run and struck out 2. And so Clark Schmidt probably going down to AAA, but it was a good outing for him. So he's an option. The Yankees are down pitchers. We'll keep an eye on that situation. The Dodgers, as I told you earlier, they were playing the Rangers. Unfortunately, Calhoun's injury overshadows the score. Texas wins the game 9-8. A lot of runs in this one. Pitching-wise, not stellar. Dodger hitting. Pollock got a hit. Kiki Hernandez got 2. Corey Seager got 2. By the way, Corey Seager's hitting .333 on the spring. So he's off to a really good start. Gavin Lux went 1 for 3. Still waiting to see and interesting to know how Gavin Lux begins the season, where he begins the season. Although Urias hit Calhoun in the mouth, he did go 3 innings. He did give up only 1 hit and 1 walk and struck out 3. He is yet to surrender an earned run this season. For the Rangers, Jordan Lyles started, gave up 5 earned runs in 3 1/3, a home run. He surrendered that one. Let's see, the Dodgers, looking at that, it was Thomas. I don't even know Thomas, right fielder, so he's a minor leaguer. I don't know what to make of that, but he gave up the home run to Thomas. And then St. John came in the 4th and gave up 2 more runs. So after 4 innings, the Dodgers had scored 7. Texas, though, Solak hit a home run, drove in 3. Kenner Faleyev went 2 for 2. He's now hitting .419 on the spring. Elvis Andrus is hitting .462 on the spring. So a lot of hitting. Texas finished with 14 hits, the Yankees with 11. Boston, 7. The Twins, 6. Martin Perez strikes out 7. That's right. Martin Perez strikes out 7 for the Twins yesterday. Let's say for the Twins. For the Red Sox. What am I talking about? He went 4, faux pas. I was due one, right? 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And Martin Perez threw 4, struck out 7. Now he has a 1.35 ERA. So certainly right now a player starting in that rotation as we get ready to begin the season. We know Sale will not start the season. It doesn't look like on the active roster. So we'll see what happens, how the Red Sox take Martin Perez. But he had a great game yesterday. For the Twins yesterday, Maeda started. Listen to this line. 4 innings, 2 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. And Kenta Maeda has a 2.08 ERA as we get down to 2 weeks left heading into the regular season. Now, hitting-wise, Donaldson got a couple of hits. Arias got a hit. Kepler got a hit. I'm looking at the lineup. A lot of regulars. Kirilloff, the rookie, hitting .500 on the spring. A lot of people are talking about Kirilloff, and I think he's going to be a great player. I don't think this year is going to be his year, but 2021, look out. And I don't rule him out from playing a lot this year. I just don't think he's going to start the season with the big club. And so, we'll keep our eye on where Kirilloff may come into play, how the Twins may posture him for an in-season potential call-up. Now, the Blue Jays beat the Phillies yesterday 9-0, and my rookie guys, they were hitting it like crazy. Bo Bichette went 1 for 3. He also had a home run in that game, his second of the spring, off Vince Velasquez. Gurriel went 1 for 2. Travis Shaw went 1 for 2. He had his second homer of the spring. He had his in the first inning off Vince Velasquez. So it sounds like Velasquez was giving up the long ball yesterday. And I mentioned this pitcher last week, Shoemaker. And I told you to keep your eye on Shoemaker and the progress he's making during the spring. Toronto needing some pitching. And when Shoemaker was in Anaheim a few seasons ago, before he started having some injury problems, he was a really good pitcher in reality and in fantasy. Well, yesterday, against the Phillies, and let's see who's in that lineup for Philadelphia. Let's see. Leading off yesterday was Hazley. He could be a regular player. Logan Forsythe, Jay Bruce. Well, you don't have your regular lineup in there. Harrison played third. Nick Williams played left. But they are major league players. Shoemaker, 4 innings yesterday. No hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, no runs. And his ERA on the spring is still at 0.00. So Shoemaker, I think he could really be, you talk about a bargain. I mean, I'm just asking, how many sports broadcasts do you hear talking about fantasy baseball and someone is promoting Shoemaker other than me? Okay? I mean, Matt Shoemaker, what a start. Okay, he has 49 pitches yesterday, 30 were thrown for strikes, 6 2/3 scoreless innings, with 9 punch-outs this spring, only 1 hit. Remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, but last April, he pitched to a 1.57 ERA through 5 starts before going down with an ACL tear. I think he is a great pick in drafts. I'm going to get him. I think you can get him late. Let's keep our eye on that, okay? JT Realmuto for the Phillies, he's now hitting .353 through 7 games. That's 6 for 17 with a home run, 4 runs scored, and 3 walks to only 2 strikeouts. So I think Realmuto, they're saying in Philadelphia he's going to lead off. Can't wait to see if that happens. But certainly he's capable of leading off. And I think in the leadoff spot, you're going to get more stolen bases potentially out of him. He led all major league catchers last year with 9 stolen bases. And so, do you think he's over or under on the 9 for 2020? I think he's over 9. And any stolen base that a catcher gives you is gravy on the potatoes, right? So, look for Realmuto. He's starting off hot. I'm looking for him to continue hot. Well, who else is hot? How about Kansas City Royals second baseman? He was called up last year about the midway point, Nicky Lopez. He knocked a couple more singles against the Reds this weekend. He's raised his spring average up to .316. He's 25 years old. Not a whole lot of power or speed, but he can hit for average. And so if you're in a league where average matters, Nicky Lopez is a player you can probably get late in drafts. And that's where I'm looking. I look at drafts. I don't think drafts are won. Maybe they can be won and lost if you have some injuries. I don't think drafts are won or lost in the first 15 picks. I think they're won or lost in the last 15 or 10 or however number you're going to pick in your league. But I think the first 15 picks, let's say you're in a 10-team league, that's 150 players. All right? I'm not saying it's unanimous, but you're going to have, if you had a board with 150 players on it, a good chance are that 90% of those players are on everyone's board. It's just a matter of where do they get picked and in what order do they get picked. It's after 150 that we don't have the same board. And so what values can you find? That's where you find the Shoemakers of the world. That's where Matt Shoemaker, he's not going to be picked in the first 150. Where do you get him? Can you get him around 220? Probably. Should you? Yes. What if he gets hurt? Well, that could happen to anybody. But he pitched a little bit last year. Yeah, but he's pitching well now. And when he did pitch last year, he pitched really well. I like Shoemaker. I like these players you can get late in drafts. Now, a lot has been written, a lot has been said about Dodger closer Kenley Jansen. And I noticed yesterday, I was listening to Sirius XM, Lenny Melnick and Andrea Lamont. Great job yesterday, guys. Lenny said yesterday he thinks that Jansen will lose his closer spot, and he may. But so far, so good. Jansen entered yesterday's game against Texas in the fourth inning. Remember, Urias had thrown 3 shutout innings. Jansen comes in the fourth, struck out Nick Solak and Joey Gallo, and then he served up a homer to Todd Frazier and a double to Danny Santana. Then he struck out Rustin Odor. So he struck out the side, but he gave up 2 runs. The 32-year-old, he's looked pretty impressive. He has allowed 1 run. That was yesterday with a 10K no walk ratio, 10-0. Pretty good, huh? Across 5 innings. So I think the jury is out. Could he be replaced in the Dodger closer role? Sure, he could be. But right now, in spring, he's looking pretty good. He still is the Dodger closer as of the moment until he's dethroned. And as the Dodger closer, he's going to get a lot of opportunity. I mean it. So, I like him right now. I may not like him next week. I'll tell you somebody else I like right now. Cody Thomas. Mentioned him earlier. Minor leaguer. Like, who's Cody Thomas? Remember I told you that as we started the show? I don't know who he is, but I tell you what he's done. He hit his 5th homer of the spring yesterday. I told you he hit off Jordan Lyles. Now, this is a kid, he's 25 years old. Not much fanfare at all. He had 23 homers in 130 games at Double-A last year. He's going back to the minors, but let's give him a round of applause. How about it? Thomas with 5 home runs already this spring. And will he lead the Cactus League in homers in spring training? That'd be a trivia question if that happens next year. Who led the Cactus League in home runs in 2020 during spring training? Oh, that would be Cody Thomas. And you're like, who is Cody Thomas? Just like I was earlier. How about another pitcher you can probably get after pick 150? I'm big on that this morning now, guys. I'm giving you a lot of information. You need to be writing this stuff down. Matt Shoemaker is one. I'm going to quit beating that drum. But Adrian Hauser, what did he do Sunday? He allowed 1 run on 2 hits, 3 1/3 innings against the Athletics. It was an RBI single by Matt Olson in the 3rd inning. That was the only score for Oakland. He's 27 years old. He's a right-hander. He had an impressive 12-start stretch last year where he went 3.28 ERA, 1.09 whip, and 63 strikeouts and 16 walks across 57 innings. That was the end of his season last year. Will Adrian Hauser be a breakout candidate? I don't know that. I do know he's worthy to be drafted after pick 150 because he very well could be that breakout candidate. Let's look at those he ended the season 12 starts to end the season, a 3.28 ERA, 63 Ks over 57 innings, and a 1.09 whip. Very small sample size, but looking at the sample size,